I'm Johnny, the head brewer at Wicks Brewing Company. This is my brew house. We're all steam powered. We're like heated, so there's no flame anywhere. I have a boiler back there, and that does all the hard work for me. I don't light a flame, or kind of keeps us from getting too hot back here, but it still gets really hot back here in the summer.
Yeah. How do you guys come up with the names?
We usually just sit around and drink and come up with ideas. So that one is brewed with Dr. Rudy hops, and so we were trying to think of something that had to do with Doctor, and my mind just went to Doctor Who. So the sonic screwdriver is this little screwdriver he carries around.
Oh, okay.
Usually it's all inside jokes. But I tell these guys whenever they're working, like make a list for me of like stupid names that you come up with, like while hanging out or drinking or when you're at home, and they give me lists and stuff. It's like I archive them and them.
That's cool.
I'm from San Diego, and so we all jokingly say "sadu" to each other. Like when I used to work at Stone, it's kind of like a joke make fun of everybody. And all the kitchen guys here do it too. So we just walk back and just yell "sadu" at each other.
That's awesome.
And,
That's funny.
So I was trying to make like a San Diego style like hoppy lager, and I wanted to throw that on there. Wicks is just the owner's last name.
Oh, really?
They said they tried to come up with all these unique ideas for names and stuff like that, and everything was taken, or it was already licensed or something like that, and they were just like, well, why don't we choose our last name? And they did it. No one has. There is one Wicks Brewing Company in South America.
Really? Oh, wow.
But they're smaller than us, and I don't think it really works that way. So
yeah.
Originally, this place was like a homebrew shop and hydroponic place, and they used to sell homebrew supplies and stuff like that. And they used to invite homebrewers to come in, do that. They kind of got into brewing. We're like, hey, breweries are popping up. We have access to all the equipment, access to all the stuff. Why don't we try making a brewery? So they made a small brewery, and then over time acquired more equipment, bought newer stuff. Like this brew house wasn't originally here; it was an addition later on and stuff like that. And just adding more tanks when we need more volume and stuff like that. And 5 years now.
Nice. Does it take a lot of trial and error, like when you guys first started out brewing, to find that perfect balance, or is it kind of like, is there like a...
There's software that helps you out quite a bit.
Really?
Because we'll know basically the potential bitterness of the hops that we're using, and there's equations you can plug into and tell you the final product about what you'll get. But it takes trial and error and understanding, knowing how much sugar you're going to be left over versus how much bitterness you need to counteract that. It's just like cooking, like knowing how much salt to add to something, how much pepper, how much to season. You don't want to oversalt something. You don't want to make something too bitter either. Cleanliness and sanitation is a huge deal in beer. It's the perfect environment for virtually any microbe. It's a liquid, so they can move around easily. It's an awesome temperature. You got tons of sugar and food and nutrients in it. And your job as a brewer is to make that home for yeast, not random bacteria or stuff like that. The first beer I ever brewed was a black IPA. It's one of my favorite styles, and you don't see them very often. It was like it was supposed to be like the next IPA style, and it wasn't. But
black. What is that? What is the significance of the black and the IPA?
Well, you got all the hoppiness of an IPA, and you have all the dark color and the flavor of like a stout or a porter. You kind of combine them together.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah. Stone used to make one. Sublimely Self-Righteous. Firestone Walker used to make one. Wiki Jack. There used to be a bunch of them out everywhere, but they're not very popular, so they've kind of like they've rolled down. Every once in a while, you see a brew pub or something put one out, but it's not really it's not a big distribution beer.
Gotcha.
So it's one of my favorite styles. You don't see them a lot, so I made that as my first beer here.
Nice. Did you have basically like creative reign of what beer you could produce?
I have full creative control over the entire board.
That's
so every beer on there is my beer.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So we have a few beers that I have kept the recipes that I've liked. Yeah. For the most part, I've either changed something or made an entirely new beer. So our entire new core lineup is all me, and our push for distribution on that is all me. My favorite right now, though, is our Pilsner, Riverside Pilsner. Lighter styles of beer, like more simplistic styles, are the hardest thing to pull off. If anything goes wrong in your process, you don't have like strong flavors to balance it out or hide it. That's been my love child, my pet right now in this brewery is trying to make out a good Pilsner, because we don't exactly have all the equipment to properly do it. So I'm trying my best to get it done. But we kind of did it as just like a one-off, but now it's our top-selling beer, and so we're producing more and more and more of it, and it's becoming more of a hurdle to get through to try to make enough of it for everybody. When it's a style that this brewery is not really set up to do. But it makes it fun. That's part of the challenge. Yeah, so that one is like I said, as long as I made it right, should be our Pilsner.
Okay.
And really light bodied, simple, clean.
Easy to
nice.
Yeah. It's very crisp and clean and fresh.
Yeah,
really
I make a light version of that too, so I do a white lager that's only 3.8% alcohol. Or like summertime
what
and stuff.
percent is it?
5.6.
Yeah.
We'll sit down, like the owner, the front of house manager, and me, and we'll sit down, and there's usually a list of like, there's a couple big distributors out here that do a good job at distributing like small local breweries. So we'll sit down, look at the list, fill in the gaps of what we need. So if I don't make a red ale, we can buy a red ale from another local brewery that we like and stuff like that. Yeah. Only that, I have a lot of other friends in the industry, and they all want me to put beer on tap here and stuff like that. Yeah. So it's just trying to get cool, unique beers that we like, and also show off local stuff as well.
Okay, yeah, it's awesome that you guys are kind of promoting like local breweries, and
that's a huge part of like this industry is that like we're all little guys together, you know. One of the big things is automation. So they can only change things so much because the system's automated. That's the reason their beer is so perfect every time. Is because the level of automation that they have in there, it keeps everything perfect every time. Not only that, but they brew one style and they've just got it down. Yeah. So with us, we can deviate from plans a lot more, try new things. But we're smaller, so we can source rare ingredients easier, buy the highest quality grain you can, buy the nicest hops you can, buy a good beast pitch, and then really take care of it. Like I always do parallels to cooking a lot. It's like working at like a nice restaurant and being a sous chef or something like that, and always making their food over and over. And a small restaurant comes and they want you to be their head chef. You know, now you get to make the menu. Now you get to source the ingredients. Now you get to play and experiment. And then this is realistically what every brewer wants. That's the biggest part about being a brewer is something always goes wrong eventually, and being able to save your beer and do something properly is a huge step of it. Yeah. There's only 2 yeast strains really out there. I mean, 3 technically, but so you have like lager yeast, ale yeast. Those are that's a real 2 divide in brewing yeast. They're both from different time periods. Both discovered different places. And they work differently. So yeah, that's the big difference between like an ale and lager. Just the yeast.
What's the so-called third one that's out there?
I would consider wild yeast.
Wild yeast?
Yeah, like Brettanomyces.
What is that used to make?
Like sour beer and wild beer. Okay. It doesn't produce any sourness, but it's uncontrolled. It's not very easy to control, and it produces like a bunch of like funky flavors and aromas and stuff like that. People attribute it to like sweaty horse blanket, barnyard, hay. It's kind of an acquired taste, but it's wild. Yeah. That'd be the best Coast IPA.
Best Coast.
Yeah, because the West Coast is the best Coast. Yeah, so this is classic like West Coast, very San Diego inspired IPA, very light bodied, lots of hops, aromatic, clean. This is one of my beers. It's called We Want Juice. It's a Berliner Weiss with it's about 2 pounds of blueberries per gallon, which is quite a bit of blueberries. In fruit beers, I don't really make a lot of them. They're not really my thing. I'm more of a purist. But if I do put fruit in beers, I usually do it as like a complementing flavor. So you get the beer first and you get some of the fruit flavors second. But I got a lot of complaints from customers that they couldn't taste the fruit. It wasn't strong enough for the palate. So we would joke in the back and go, oh, they don't want beer, they just want juice. So now I made a beer called We Want Juice, and it proved me right. It sells quite a bit. And I just put as much fruit as I could possibly get into it. And so this is a Berliner Weiss, or a kettle sour. So I have a bacteria introduced into the boil kettle, and it produces acid as it eats. And so you get a nice like tart acidic beer. And then I boil it and I kill it all. Bacteria can be kind of scary to have in your brewery. It's very hardy, they're very small, hard to kill, and it'll spread through the tanks and make all my beer sour. So doing it that way is a nice way to keep it clean and sanitary. You produce a nice, clean, acidic flavor. Then it ferments, and then we feed it a bunch of fruit. It doesn't really matter what fruit it is. The last one was boysenberries. This one was blueberries. The next one is apricot and peaches. And so we just basically fill it full of fruit and let all the flavors go.
Use different types of fruit, like you said, boysenberry, blueberry, and then peaches, and it'll still produce like the same flavor, or will it be?
The fruit flavor is going to be completely different. Yeah.
Do you still call it We Want Juice, or
Yeah.
is it? Oh, okay.
And We
So
Want
it's
Juice
just
is
like
the name of the series, and it's just different fruits every time.
Nice.
Yeah.
So when you do like a peach one, will it be like a lighter orange color?
It'll probably be like a hazy straw color.
So, that's interesting. I didn't know that you guys mix and match like that, but you keep the same name, like per series.
So that's
like
how
a series.
we do, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's about
But
it.
not really for like any other styles, because you can't really mix and match like other types of ingredients. It's more just the fruit that you can do that with.
Yep, the base beer is the same every single time, and just at the end we add different fruits. People want really sweet desserty beers right now. That's one of the big things. So you got that, and then you have like the big like imperial stout craze that we have right now, where everyone puts like maple syrup and chocolate and vanilla. I've watched people like put cupcakes in their mash tun and stuff like that. Yeah, make really desserty sweet beers, and that's what a lot of people want nowadays. One funny thing you'll find if you talk to like a lot of brewers and ask them what they drink at home, most of them drink Coors Banquet.
Really?
And so do I. Yeah, it's an amazing beer. Out of the big guys, Coors Miller, in my opinion, is the least aggressive towards the smaller guys and stuff. Their main brewery in Golden, Colorado is pretty supportive to the local industry and stuff like that. That being said, they're still big. They've lobbied to pass laws to put us out of business and make things difficult for us and stuff like that. But Coors Banquet is like the brewer's beer.
I see.
It's a very, very well-crafted, like American lager. As a brew pub, I'm allowed to serve guest beers and stuff like that. And that's a kind of a newer thing. We used to only have like 15 taps. Now we have 25. And so because of that, I've been able to throw guest beers back on. Nice. When I started, we had guest beers, but then it was pulling my beers off to put their beers on. And it didn't really make sense. So we got rid of them, only did our beer, and then we ended up throwing 10 more taps. So we ended up redoing the entire draft system. But something we want to make, or something we think will do well, as a brew pub, we have a unique thing where we have a tasting room and a restaurant, and we can distro beers. So I have a good outlet to get all my beer out. If say accounts don't want it, I can sell it in here. And stuff like that. They like say it doesn't sell that well in here. There might be accounts who want it because it's new and interesting.
There's always an outlet that you can find that will be able to get your beer.
So we can be a lot riskier with these things we do.
What are those barrels in there? Do those actually have product in them? Or?
Yeah, so those barrels in the back don't have anything. I've emptied them. They're kind of just chilling right now until I figure out who to give them to or what to do with them. These three all have beer in them.
What is the purpose of them sitting in these barrels?
Aging.
Aging?
Yeah. Oak is really pleasant flavor. Only that, but these have some of that wild yeast I was telling you about in them. And Brettanomyces likes oak. It has a lot to eat in there. They also have, I fruited them last week, so each one has a different fruit in them right now.
Let's see the
mango, pineapple, guava, mango. And at the end, we're going to taste them, establish a blend, blend them together and bottle it.
So you're going to kind of create a concoction of all three.
That's awesome.
It sounds delicious.
We don't really distro in any way, shape, or form like any packaged beer. It's only kegs. So I do have a can seamer. It's sitting there like on the counter there. And what we'll do is we can fill 4 packs to go for you. We'll take the can, rinse it out, purge it with CO2 to get all the oxygen out of there. Yeah. Fill it like you would a growler, and seam it, and we can do 4 packs for you to go. Oh, wow. That way, cool. It's a lot better on the environment. It's better on the beer. You can have a variety with you. I don't know if you know, but as soon as you open a growler, we're supposed to drink the whole thing. Yeah. But this time you have 4 16-ounce cans, and you can decide it that way. Oh yeah, I mean, our website is, I think, pretty sure it's www.wicksbrewing.com. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, a lot of social media. You can find us on Untapped, a fun app to check in your beers and rate them. We're on tap throughout the entire Inland Empire and some places in Orange County.